On today's IRS tax refund update, we will take a look at the latest developments with those ongoing tax refund delays, as we are now just 2 months away from the start of the next tax season, and recap those still experiencing delays while encountering the 570 and 971 tax transcript codes, which could be the result of a variety of items including income verification and ID verification. And from there, we will take a look at some of those notices that continue to be sent out by the IRS. Now, with 2 months to go until the start of the 2025 tax season, we are still seeing delays for those who filed their tax year 2023 tax returns as far back as 10 months ago. And at this point, for most of those experiencing delays they are encountering, the 570 and 971 codes appearing on their tax transcripts as seen here. Now the 570 code represents a hold on the tax return, which can be due to a variety of reasons including a random review of the income and withholdings being reported, or a review of certain tax credits being claimed, or even a random selection for ID verification being needed before tax processing can in fact continue. While the 971 code will always represent a notice that the IRS has sent or will be sending out to the tax filer. Now, as it relates to the 570 and 971 codes, there are several different scenarios which you may fall under. Starting off with the 570 and 971 codes have the same dates listed next to them on the tax transcript, which means the IRS has auto-corrected a potential error on the tax return or resolved the potential issue in question and has cleared the refund to be processed and released. Meanwhile, if the codes have two separate dates as seen here, it means the IRS is still working on the issue, and the letter being sent out is informing you of the delay most likely in the form of a 60-day notice. And a third scenario is only the 570 code appears, meaning it is still in the early stages of review for a possible issue, and the 970 code is likely to appear on a future transcript update. Now highlighting two top delays for the release of those tax refunds including ID verification, which is still impacting tax filers even now, and a number of whom are still not even aware this is the cause of their refund delay. Now for those impacted by this each year, the IRS randomly selects tax filers to complete ID verification in order for their tax refund to be released, and it applies to those who have never had any issues with their taxes or those who may have completed ID verification in recent years being asked to do so yet again. And while the IRS is supposed to send out a letter to impacted tax filers informing them of the situation, what we have seen in particular over the last 2 years is these letters are not always reaching the tax filers, which leaves them unaware that this is the cause of their delay. And it is only after either reaching out to the IRS, taxpayer advocate, or congressional representative's office are they finally able to determine the situation. And it is important to note the refund will remain on hold until ID verification is completed, and in a majority of cases can actually be completed online in a matter of minutes. A second significant cause of refund delays we have seen over the past 2 years is the IRS needs to verify the income a tax filer has reported on their tax return for accuracy. And this could also be due to a random selection, or it is a result of the IRS specifically flagging the return. Now again, this is a situation which may result in the IRS sending you a series of letters from the 60-day notice indicating they need more time to process your return to a letter in the CP05 series, like seen here, requesting documentation to back up what you reported on your tax returns, such as W-2 or 1099 forms. And in a number of cases, the IRS will conduct the income review without the need for additional information unless there is a discrepancy found between what you reported and what your employer reported. Hearing from our viewers, these 3 IRS notices continue to be reported as the most received and can directly relate to why many of you are experiencing the 570 code on your tax transcripts, including a letter in the CP05 series, which indicates the IRS has detected information that was entered on the tax return is incorrect, and they are now requesting documentation from the taxpayer to substantiate what was entered, primarily income and tax withholding information. And it is extremely important you provide the relevant information immediately to the IRS so they can determine if there was in fact an error as what refund amount should be released. And the third notice received by many is IRS Letter 2644-EC, also known as the 60-day notice, indicating the IRS needs additional time to process the tax return, often indicating they are waiting for the tax filers' tax information to be available on their computer system, which usually relates to income reports from your employer or other issuers of tax forms sent to you. And it is not uncommon if you receive multiple letters while you wait. It is recommended if you receive a second letter to reach out to the IRS or taxpayer advocate to determine what documentation they are waiting on, as there is chance they will allow you to submit it electronically so that tax processing can continue and that refund ultimately released. The second notice would be one in the CP75 series, and this often has to do with a credit being claimed on the tax return, such as the Earned Income Tax Credit, and the need to provide documentation, especially around dependents, in order to determine if one is in fact eligible to claim such a credit. Now, if you do not submit the requested paperwork, the IRS will deny your claim for the credit and reduce your anticipated refund as a result. Let us know in the comment section below about your ongoing tax issue. In the meantime, we will keep monitoring the situation for further developments, so make sure to click on the thumbs up and subscribe button below for future updates on this channel, and thanks for watching.